Let there be light. I am experimenting with a new camera and already I could see through the viewfinder that it's a big difference in terms of light. Better filtering, I guess, I don't know the term. I'm here to talk about the teaser trailer for Star Wars. And since it's only a minute and a half, this video will be relatively short to the other videos, but I could talk a lot apparently. First of all, this movie has been delayed until December of 2015, which is great news. I know people are like, I wish it was coming out in May as originally was planned. All Star Wars movies have come out in May to coincide with George Lucas's birthday. This one, however, has been pushed back for various reasons. One of those reasons being the injury that happened to Harrison Ford aboard the Millennium Falcon. But another reason is, I think, probably because J.J. Abrams wants to get this movie right. I remember back in, was it 5, 6, 7 years ago, I was checking a website called theraider.net, which is a site dedicated to happenings in the Indiana Jones world. And I remember they were saying that the movie production had begun. I was super excited for Indiana Jones 4. And less than 4 weeks later, the internet website, theraider.net, said production finished, filming finished for Indy 4. And I'm thinking to myself, how did you do that in less than 4 weeks? And I think we answered the question when we saw the film, and we saw that most of it was CGI backgrounds, and probably a lot of it was done in post-production. So it's a very like point-and-click type of movie where you're just adding effects. I think this movie is using this new Star Wars movie is probably using more practical effects than other recent George Lucas films. I think that's evidenced right away in the Star Wars trailer. Well, the first image. Let's start with the first image. Is a man in a stormtrooper outfit in the desert. We could assume this is Tatooine. It's a pretty safe assumption. Desert planet. It could be another desert planet, but probably Tatooine. And the thing about this image that gets me excited and gets me very hopeful for this movie is that there is sweat glistening off of his face. And you know, to me, him looking exasperated, like he's on the run, he's not sure where to go. There's more acting in that 5 seconds than I've seen probably in all the prequel trilogy. I know people like the prequel bash, but it's kind of true that even though you're working with really bona fide good actors, Liam Neeson, Ewan McGregor, Natalie Portman, Christopher Lee, these movies are actually kind of wooden when it comes to acting. I don't remember Qui-Gon Jinn or Obi-Wan Kenobi breaking a sweat on Tatooine. So this is good. I mean, it's sweat. You can't get too excited, but it's a good start. What else? The second image is of a ball droid, which I found. They just released the name of this the characters. His name is BB-8. BB-8. Maybe he's named BB because a BB is like a spherical object that you shoot from a gun, and he's a ball droid. Just work with me here. But that's cool. We're not relying on R2-D2 to sell our movie. I mean, we know R2-D2 is going to be in it, but let's get us some fresh blood, or fresh oil as it were. Let's get some new characters, and let's get some characters that this next generation could really identify with. I don't think you could identify with a droid, but love and cherish. And it's cute as all get out. I mean, that's adorable. I could see BB-8 becoming like a meme thing for children, where you know they're just playing with their BB-8 toys, rolling them down the street, whatever. So that second image is also very encouraging. And again, that's I read that was a practical effect. That wasn't a special effect. So our first 2 images, no CGI. Very good news. I mean, undoubtedly there should be some CGI. I mean, it's 2014, but we're not relying on it in these clips so far. Third image, I believe, is a young lady who's on some sort of land speeder in the desert, or we could assume maybe this is Han Solo and Princess Leia's daughter, but we have no idea. And then the cool part for me was seeing X-Wings. The movie is called Star Wars, and it's not supposed to be called Lightsaber Wars. It's Star Wars. You're supposed to be in space. I think the prequels really overdid it with the light show. I mean, I wasn't sure if I was watching a Star Wars movie or I was watching someone, you know, throw glow sticks at a blue screen. Lightsaber battles are supposed to be like Rocky movies, you're waiting for that boxing match at the end, and it kind of builds up the tension to the whole movie. Can't wait for the boxing scene. Same thing with Star Wars movies and the original Star Wars movies. You're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting. You might get a little glimpse of a lightsaber, but at the end, that's where you're finally treated to a lightsaber scene. So I hope this movie doesn't overdo the lightsaber. Speaking of lightsaber, a lot of people talking about that medieval looking lightsaber that a Sith Lord, we assume, is carrying through a snowy forest. The whole thing looks very Game of Thrones to me, very medieval, and that's kind of cool. It's something new. People are complaining, why would you have a lightsaber with a hilt? Look at Darth Maul's lightsaber. That thing, you're likely to kill yourself before you kill other people with it. I don't mind having a hilt. It makes it kind of a little bit different, but not too over the top. And luckily it's red, it's not purple, it's not mauve, it's not rainbow. It looks positively, not just medieval, but looks evil. It's crackling with energy. It doesn't just turn on, it bursts, it ignites. It's really quite something. I watched this trailer enough times to watch a whole movie through. I must have played it like 20 times in one day. The last clip of the trailer is the Millennium Falcon being accompanied by that iconic Star Wars theme music, and this just steeps us right back into our childhood sentimentality, and that's a good thing. I mean, I'm excited by mostly the new stuff that we've seen, but of course, it's nice to see that as well. But there's actually one part of this trailer that only recently people have been talking about, and it's sort of subtle. When the trailer is coming to an end, it fades to black, and then you hear the sound of a lightsaber. Now, why is this interesting, or why is this revealing? Well, some wizards of smart on the internet, God bless them, who have a lot of time, compared that sound clip with the sound clip of the original lightsaber that Luke owned in the original trilogy. Not the green one, but the blue one. They must have taken some wavelengths and compared them and saw that it was exactly the same sound clip. Why is this revealing? Well, I think there's a plot that many people surmised back in the 80s. I know I did in the 80s when I was hungry for new Star Wars. When I was a kid in like 85, 86, my uncle bought me a G.I. Joe action figure, Wild Weasel. It came with an airplane known as the Cobra Rattler. And I didn't collect G.I. Joe back then. I only collected Star Wars, so I didn't know what to do with this 3 3/4 inch figure except to introduce him into my Star Wars universe, my Star Wars playverse, if you will. And I made him, at first I made him Darth Vader's protege, but then I started playing it so that they took Luke Skywalker's hand that fell in Cloud City and cloned him into a new dark Sith Lord. And this is an idea that people have been playing with for a while. Where did the original lightsaber go when it fell into the abyss? Where did his genetic material go? We knew back then there was something called the Clone Wars, so that we knew that there was cloning technology in this universe. So maybe we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but it would be really interesting if this was the case. Even though it's sort of an obvious plot that people have thought of before, it's still good, even if it's a little bit obvious. You know, I have a feeling that the Clone Wars stuff that we saw in the prequels is going to be largely ignored, and maybe, just maybe, that Black Stormtrooper is a good sign. And I mentioned he's black for one major reason, and that's he looks different than the genetic clones that were made in the original prequels. Now, he's probably not a stormtrooper. He's probably a hero disguised or wearing a part disguise of a stormtrooper. But if he's not, that is great news, because that means we're ignoring the whole New Zealand guy being Jango Fett, who was the genetic material for every clone trooper thereafter. Maybe, just maybe, Abrams is ignoring the prequels entirely. Wouldn't that be nice? All right, really long video for a minute and a half teaser trailer. I can only imagine how long my video will be next December after seeing this movie, and yeah, I can't wait. All right, cheers.